Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine. I go to CSULB. I'm a third year communication studies student, and today I will be interviewing Christy Thompson. She is the lead plumber for the state of Alaska, and she is the secretary and treasurer of the Alaska Chapter of IAPMO and a member of the National IAPMO. And if you don't know what that is the International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials. Hi, Christy.
Hi.
Are you
Hi.
ready to get into the interview?
Yes, I am.
All right. So, could you describe what your typical workday entails and what your first few years in this career was like?
Okay. I will start out with question number 2. Okay, so I started out, and when I was 18 years old, I joined Local 367 through an interview process. I had to bring them my school transcripts along with diploma, a driver's license. I mean, everything that a person could have at the time in 1997. Nowadays, I think they want your passport and a little bit more details. But anyway, so I applied, took their application. It was about, I think it was 7 to 10 pages long at the time, plus a math test. And then after you passed your math test and all that, you go to phase 2, which is then the interview process. And then I sat in a panel of 5 people. And then they asked me the typical questions like, why do you want to be a plumber? What do you have to benefit? What would you bring to the table for us? And you know, do you mind working for this low wage? Because you know, you start out as an apprentice, you're making $18 an hour in 1997. That's not very much money, but actually it was. Actually, I was making $15 an hour laying carpet at the time. So I thought that that money was actually better, and it came with insurance, retirement, pension, not retirement, pension, insurance, and prevailing wage. So, and I got on the list. I was 75 on the list, and it wasn't till November. End of November. I got my first call. So I was on the list from end of September to November. And I got my very first call, and I went up to the North Slope Pump Station 1, right there, North Slope, right there at the very tip top where it comes out of the ground at Pump Station 1. So anyway, so that's my first job there. And then the second question was my typical day. So what you do is I get up myself at 5:30 in the morning. I'm a single mom of a little 4-year-old boy. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I typically shower either the night before or the day of, so whatever it's quickest. And I put my hair in a ponytail. I have bangs, which makes it a little easier. And put my hair in a ponytail. I put my uniform on. Let me see here. A little uniform. Yep, I have a uniform that I wear. And then I wear jeans. Not hard-toed shoes, not steel toes. Steel toes are a thing of the past. Wear hard-toed shoes, jeans, my uniform, and of course I have a badge. And I badge myself in the morning, and then we have a meeting every single morning from 7:30 to 8. Sometimes it runs a little longer depending on what the topics are. We have a little safety minute, things like that nature. And then I have a work order system where you go through the work orders and they get assigned to the various people, and then you do them. And they could be anywhere from fixing a toilet, flushometer, as small as that, like a 5-minute job, to a project, which is like I'm working on right now. I can talk about it. I'm roughing in a break room sink for another break room. We have a break room. It has a sink in it already. We are adding another sink to the break room because of all the traffic, because like you got 30 people going to one sink at lunchtime. So they're wanting to break it up so there's not so much time at one sink. So
Right.
people get out of there on time and back to work instead of washing their dishes. So that's my project I'm working on right now.
Great. Thank you so much. And so, what high school courses have you found to be the most applicable and important for your occupation?
Okay, math, number 1. Math, and then more math. Okay? And then number two, I went to what we have here in Alaska. We offer a King Career Center. It's a career center where instead of taking like the typical high school pottery, or I was also a cheerleader at the time, so I had active school. So I actually had you have to have a drive, at 16, I took, and it was only offered to people who drove because you had to leave school grounds and drive there. They had a bus system, but I waited till I could drive. Anyways, and then he drove to Career Center, and I took their various classes in my second semester, or sorry, second half of the day. What they did was I took the morning and I did all morning math, science, history, and then the second half of the day I would go to the Career Center. And so I started out with welding. It was my first. Okay. So after welding, then I moved to auto mechanics. I tried that out for a semester. And then I think the last year, I believe, what did I do? I did carpentry my third semester because I didn't know a lot about carpentry and I really wanted to get as much as I knew. So I did carpentry. Even though it doesn't have a lot to do with plumbing, it actually has more done than you think, more than you think, because to put plumbing in, you have to cut studs. You got to know where to cut the studs, and you can't just drill a hole anywhere. In the joist space, you have to box it out, and they teach you how to box things out. And they teach you not to just cut a hole anywhere.
Right.
Things like that, things of that nature. So, but math is definitely on the academic side, and then on the other side, if you can get into any kind of career, pre-career program for your electives, do that. And all three of those have helped me be more mechanically inclined. Welding, of course, helped me. I got my welding certs at 18 years old too.
Wow. Okay.
Through a welding institute. I went there. I took a course, and then I tested out and got my welding certs at 8. I was a little over. I was like 18 and a half.
Oh, okay.
And I tested as well. But also, I have some natural ability to. I'm left-handed, so I have a little bit of a natural ability. They said.
Wow. Okay, that's really
little arts and crafty. They said like they had like a natural eye for it.
right. Okay, that's
There,
really
I was finding myself where I was kind of like going up a little higher than other people in my grade. I also have drive.
Oh,
I
okay.
also have a lot of drive, and I have a lot of energy, a lot of excess energy.
Okay, so what part-time jobs, apprenticeships, internships, or extracurricular activities would best prepare you for this occupation?
Well, definitely joining the union apprenticeship program would prepare you. That is your career. It's on-the-job training. You just go to school once a year and then you work the rest of the time. So you're making money and then you go to school once a year and you learn at school. And then you get your certifications of different types. Like at third year, you get your med gas. At fourth year, you get your foreman license. At fifth year, you get your plumbing license. You know what I mean? They have a regimen. And then also other things that you can do is I did a lot of side work. Just like a friend had a leaky sink or a toilet, or I was always the first to say, oh, I'll do it. Even just getting out there and just doing it.
Right.
So, I mean, I know it's not really an occupation or something that's specified, but helping friends, helping people out, making a few dollars, but helping them out, and then you learn more that way too. And don't be afraid of making mistakes, because the person that says they never had a leak never started a joint. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
Someone says, I have started all these joints, I've never had a leak before, they're lying, or they've never started before. Because you have to make mistakes to learn.
Right.
And you learn from your mistakes.
Of course.
Just don't make them twice.
Good advice. So what are the benefits of being a member of the IAPMO?
IAPMO. I call it IAPMO. IAPMO. International Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials.
Oh, okay.
You said it wrong in the beginning, but that's okay. I knew I was going to straighten it out. Now, there's a lot of benefits with the Alaska chapter. There are no local dues. It's $75 a month. And the third Tuesday of every month at 5 o'clock, you show up at 4700 Elmore Street in Anchorage, Alaska. And we put on a PowerPoint presentation on various different plumbing aspects in the code. We'll pick a chapter, or we'll do a full PowerPoint on local amendments if they're new, or anything new, and we all talk as plumbers, and we all get together and talk about jobs and what's going on out there as far as jobs and what's going on the job. And hey, I got this problem over here. Does anyone have a suggestion? There's 40 plumbers there of all ages and all ways of life, and let's talk about it. Anybody have any problems out there? And that's what the greatest benefit of our chapter is it's smaller. It's 35. Well, we have 35 to 40 solid members that show up every single time.
Okay.
I should say between 30 and 40 every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of extracurricular work putting those PowerPoint presentations together, but in the end, it's worth it because you learn the code that way. And code is huge. That's what IAPMO is. It's they make the code book. And so code is huge. If you're talking about extracurriculars, get a code book, open it up and read it, get the study guide, and start understanding it. Give yourself a quiz and start understanding. And that's for plumbing.
Okay.
So plumbing and mechanical. Plumbing and mechanical. They have a uniform mechanical code and a uniform plumbing code. And both of them are that's where your licenses are based off. They're inspector licenses.
Wow. Okay. So you seem very knowledgeable at this point in time. I'm pretty sure it's because of all these years of training and all of your work. So how did you know that this was the right career for you?
Okay, this is the one part in the interview that I knew was going to be tough for you guys. My parents are plumbers.
Okay, I
Yes,
see.
my mother and my father. So to me, though, they actually did not want me to be a plumber.
Oh, really?
They wanted me to be like an attorney or a doctor or anything but a plumber. But I just followed in their footsteps. And be honest with you, it's what I knew. I would go out on side jobs with my father at 16. We'd unsnake drains, and it's kind of what I knew. So I just decided to just go. That's why I did the welding, because it's still in the field, but it made them happy because it wasn't plumbing quite yet. It was welding. So that's what gave me the idea of doing that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I hate to say the nepotism thing, but really it was my parents that I got the idea from.
Of course.
But I did do welding first, so but it wound up being a plumber in the end. But the plumbing is lightweight. You don't have to lift. I mean, it's all PEX now and IBS. It's lightweight now. You don't have to break your back being a plumber.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not anymore. And back in the old days, they had lead and oakum and cast. They still have cast iron on some jobs, but most everyone's gone to ABS and PEX and like the old days, it was all the heavy cast iron and copper, and nowadays it's PEX and ABS, lightweight, easy to use.
So can you tell me about the educational programs offered by IAPMO?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Where do I start? They have webinars that you like we're doing right now, webinars, like where there's someone on the other side teaching and you're taking notes. And then there's all the way from someone actually flying to your hometown to teach you the updated code, code and our local, and then the local amendments also. They go through those too. So anywhere from a webinar and everywhere in between. I mean, IAPMO, I don't know what I would do without IAPMO because they have helped me immensely. Also with IAPMO, if you have a question about a product, you can type in that product name and find out if it's an actual listed, if it's good to use, essentially. If it's one of the products that you want, that's a listed product. I say, I'm not going to get all into specific jargon because, it goes out to the public. So if it's the right thing to use, the right faucet to buy, the right water closet, toilet, water closet is a toilet, but water closet to use, the right shower to put in, the right shower valve to use. You can type that in there and they'll tell you, yep, that one's okay.
Oh,
yep, that one's listed and approved.
Okay, that's really neat.
Yeah,
Well, It looks like we're nearing the end of our interview now, but before we end, is there anything else that you would like to add or think would help someone considering this occupation?
I would say go down to your local union and join up. And
Hmm.
in the meantime, take as much math courses and anything that would get you in the mechanical field, mechanical, even if it's mechanical like engines, just
Right.
being mechanically inclined, knowing what the tools are, things like that. Go through your toolbox, name the tools. That's what I recommend. Just
Great.
get out there and just get out there and do it. No
Yeah.
matter if you make a mistake, just do it. You did something.
Yeah, get experience. I totally
Yeah,
understand.
just get out there and do it. No matter what it is, just do it.
Well, thank you so much, Christy. It was such a pleasure to have you, and I've learned so much just by listening to you just now, and I'm sure that this is going to help a lot of people in the future.